Hello! Welcome to my series of things I wish I knew when I first started cosplaying. If you're new, I'm sort of a baby cosplayer. I got started 2.5 years ago and I've accelerated far past a point that I could have even imagined. I'm talking professional setting, nearly 1 million followers on all of my platforms combined, and I have gotten to a place where I am just so grateful and shocked by the amount of support I've received as a cosplayer. So if you're a new cosplayer, or you've been around for a while and you have some curiosities, I am here to answer those curiosities and those questions. It's hard to see all these cosplayers that you really look up to, and a lot of them don't really have videos about their start or how they do things, and you're just kind of left to figure it out for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with figuring things out for yourself, but if you're like me and you kind of like having a guide or at least a little something to point you in the right direction, that is what I'm here for. I don't want to waste any time. These contacts that I have in my eyes, yes, they are contacts, are some really pretty natural brown contacts. All of these contacts, I will try my best to find links and have them in the description, as well as my discount codes, so you can have some money off. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, but I have worked with them and have existing discount codes for most of them, because I got a lot of these contacts from being an influencer. This is almost my entire contact collection. I know that I have a few loose in MIA, so I don't want to say that this is every single pair of contacts that I own, but it's very close to it. I'm gonna try on some of them, and some of them I'm just gonna show you and talk about for the safety and health of my eyes, because this is a lot of pairs of contacts to be putting into my eyes. I will attach photos though of every single pair of contacts that I have worn, and put it on this side of the screen so that you have an accurate representation of what it looks like with makeup, cosplay, and everything. I don't know what characters I've used these for, but these are good everyday contacts for when I just want my eyes to look a little bit brighter and more engaging. I definitely will probably use them for Moana, because I think they're a little bit light for Moana, but I think they're really cute. I'm embarking my journey as a party princess. These are the contacts I used to cosplay Myeyebb and Persephone the other day. I was Myeyebb, and these contacts are really cool. I also used them for Shula. So I'll show you what they look like there. They've been soaking and rehydrating because they got a little bit crazy. It is not recommended that you rehydrate contacts after they have been dehydrated. If you're a baddie on a budget, you should still be a baddie looking out for your health. So keep in mind that safe contact practices are the only way to ensure that your vision stays intact. So stay safe. These are the contacts I use for Zelda. These are really, really pretty. I'm gonna try on the ones that are like really interesting or I have something specific to say about them. These are slightly enlarging and they look very similar to these brown contacts that I have in right now, so there's no real point in my opinion in putting them on. These are my red contacts that I used recently for Rainbow Dash, and that oh no, these are the pink version. Sorry, I have two pairs of contacts that are extremely similar. This is the pink version, and recently I've been really into the ones that make your pupils smaller, because I think they're really cool and they look kind of creepy. I use these for a love core look, which I'll put here. I'm gonna try on the red ones. I was fully anticipating putting these in my eyes, but I want to try on the red ones because I think they're really pretty. This is the red version I'm talking about. So this will be the first pair of contacts I put into my eyes. This is the way I like to put in and remove my contacts. Just easy like that. If you have nails, you're probably going to want to use your knuckles. Do not endanger your eyes by scratching them. And make sure you change out your solution for your contacts. See how it makes my pupils smaller? I think it looks really cool. I will say sometimes it looks like you can kind of see the edges until you get really used to it. These are the ones that I use for Marceline. A lot of people ask me where I got my contacts from Marceline, and I will put the brand that they're from in my description, and I will probably put it on the screen, but if not, it is in my description. These were gifted and I love them. They're definitely worth it. They're worth the money. I have a few more pairs of these on the way in the other colors that they come in, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited. A lot of different brands sell the same contacts, and I have seen these contacts sold from a variety of different brands, so it's just up to you and your comfort level. Make sure when you are about to check out from a contact company, if you have like 2 or 3 different companies you're looking at and you see their contacts and you're like, oh, I really like this one, but I really like this one, but I really like this one, use keywords, because you might find the exact same pairs of contacts on different websites because they come from the same manufacturers. Pro tip. That's something I wish people told me, and that's something I wish people knew, because you don't have to check out from a bunch of different contact companies a lot because they all have the same stuff. Not all of them, but a lot of them do have the same stuff. So make sure you double check so you don't have to pay multiple shipping fees. These are from Moodylenses. They discontinued these. These are the coconut blue, and these are my favorite contacts. I want to hold on to them until they're like wrinkly. With 1-year contacts, you don't want to wear them past a year. I don't think these are a year old yet. I'll have to check when I filmed the video for them. But you know, we're playing with our eyes here. You can't get another pair of eyes, so you don't want to mess with your eyes. You want to make sure they're sanitized, and you want to make sure you don't go over the dates. You know the drill. These are really beautiful. I'll attach a photo. They're slightly enlarging, and they're really cool. These I think are just regular pink contacts. I'm not going to try these on, but these are just regular pink contacts. I've used these for Jinx. I'll probably attach a photo. I really like the small pupil ones at this moment, so I haven't been using those ones as much when I have pink eyes. I lost 1 contact from each of these pairs, crazily enough. So now they look completely different. I have more on the way, but I love these big enlarging contacts. I'll show you what they look like. These are like, they're just the standard dolly eye contacts that are really large. And I just like them because I think they look fun. Oh wait, do I have 2 contacts in each other? Sometimes I stack my contacts, which is very unsafe. Don't do that. I'm weaning myself off of doing that because it's very dangerous and very stupid. You only have 1 pair of eyes, people. People have gone blind from incorrectly wearing these plastic contacts, by the way. It definitely makes a difference. These are really cute for like kawaii J-fashion looks. I really love them. I wish that I had 2 of these, but I will soon. There's no one way to put in your contacts. I like to put them on either my knuckle or like the tip of my finger. Sorry, my nose is running because now my eyes are getting dry. But you want to put them on the tip of your finger or on your knuckle and just put it in there. I like to not look at the contact. I feel like I psych myself out when I look directly at the contact. I know you guys in the comments are gonna be like, your eyes are getting, yeah, my eyes are getting watery because I keep changing the plastic in them. Okay, these are the ones I use for both Echo and Ambessa. They have similarly colored eyes, just adding a little bit of light to their naturally dark eyes. I will put these up here. Now you can see why I'm not trying on every single contact. It is very painful to be changing your contacts. I'm not going to do that to myself, but I'm not done trying them on. I just need a little break. These are Gojo's contacts. I will attach a photo. I got these from Pinky Paradise. That I remember. Ooh, my eyes are so watery. Let me take out this salty one real quick. Yeah, that was the issue. It's just too salty. The water starts to evaporate and it leaves a lot of salt behind when your contact solution gets old. So that's another reason to be changing out your contacts. And you're gonna be uncomfortable. I've done it. I've done a whole con day with 2 salty contacts. It's very painful for about 3 hours. Don't put yourself through that. I don't do that anymore. These are the standard like red ones with the little anime ring in them. I use those for Boozette. I will attach a photo. These are the standard green with the anime ring. I've used these for a couple different characters. I know I used them for like a Flora Winx Club look. These are just like, they're just normal green contacts. I think they're really cute. I look for contacts with a limble ring and with like light rings because I have found that those look the most animated and people ask me a lot where I get those. You can find them on pretty much any site, but make sure you're looking for something that says like anime, like a cartoon. You're looking for just like big big contacts that are animated. There's 2 pairs of contacts in this case. I'm not gonna show you because that's really gross, and you shouldn't do that. But there's gray and there's brown, and they're standard. The brown ones are definitely over a year old, so I'm gonna toss them today and leave the gray ones in here. I have a lot of pairs of gray contacts that I've used for different things. I'll show you this dolly look that I did with gray contacts, and I think that's this pair. This is the same pair over again. I do have a couple of repeats by accident because a lot of companies sell the same things. So do be sure that you have, that you're not getting repeats, because that's kind of a waste of your money. These are, I think these are just like normal gray with like a big limbo ring. These are very similar to the other ones that I have, but they look a little bit more unnatural, which I find really pretty. I went through a gray eyes phase where I had a lot of gray contacts, so I don't need to own those anymore. This is Sea Siren by Moodylenses. I think I'll actually try these on. Well, they're actually really salty. These are very salty. I'll attach a photo. I love these lenses. I'm gonna see if they're too salty because I think I wore them. I'm realizing I wore them like a couple days ago for something. I couldn't tell you what. These are the ones I use for Daisy. Daisy actually has blue eyes, fun fact, but I think she looks way better with green eyes, so I do greenish blue because she has a green gem and her whole thing is orange and green. So why would her eyes be blue? Every princess in Mario, their eyes are blue. Give the girl green eyes. I think these are really pretty. This is definitely one of my favorite contacts that I have, and they're slightly enlarging, and they look really similar to these brown ones. They're just blue, and they have a slightly like yellowish ring on the inside. I love these a lot. Sea Siren by Moodylenses. I love Moodylenses. If you're looking for more like, actually I'm gonna keep this one in. It's very comfortable. This one's not salty at all. If you're looking for more natural contacts, I definitely recommend Moodylenses. They are a really, really awesome company. They have like unique contacts rather than just like selling the normal manufactured contacts, which I'm sure they do as well. They have their own lines of contacts that are really, really awesome. This contact, let me take it out for you. This is the same series of contacts that I usually wear, where they have the light ring and they have like a colored limbo ring. I'm trying to get it to focus, hello. These are really pretty. These are the ones that I used for Catra. I will attach a link down below and I'll put like Catra contacts. I use one of this orange one and one of the blue one. I also used this for Mel when I went to an arcane thing and I wanted to do like Mel if she drank Shimmer and Shimmer was gold. That video actually did really well, surprisingly. It was like a funny little, I just thought it was really interesting. But yeah, those are the ones I use for Catra. A lot of people are asking about that, so I'm delivering. These ones are the ones I use for Starfire. They are not dry, like crusty dry, but they're not, they look like they could be unsafe to wear potentially, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to show you guys these in my eyes. But I'm not gonna do that because we're not gonna risk our eye health. But this is a photo of them. They're really, really pretty. And I really like them. I use them for Adam Eve and Starfire. I have these Scleras. I'll show you what they look like in. I don't wear Scleras often, A, because they're deeply uncomfortable, and B, because they're deeply uncomfortable. Honestly, that's really the only reason. They're really hard to see out of, and for my eyes, they don't fit everybody's eye shape. I think I have astigmatism. The lights are streaky when I drive, and they kind of face outward. Like one's kind of like this way and the other one's this way because the curve of my eyes are different. So not everyone can wear Scleras. Fun fact, not everyone has the anatomy for it. I can wear them, they just don't really look right, so there's no real point. But if I have a cosplay that requires them, I usually do mini Scleras, which would be similar to the ones that I showed you earlier, those like dolly ones. They have one a size bigger or they have that size. These ones are a duplicate of the ones I use for Echo and Bessa. As I said, don't order duplicates. It's a waste, it truly is. These are the ones I use for Blackfire. They're very similar to the ones I use for Starfire, but they're purple. I'll show you. They're very big, which is why I want to show you. They're really cool. I'm 90% sure that these ones are also from Pinky Paradise. So are the green ones. Pinky Paradise is one of my favorite contact companies, for sure. they just make really cool stuff. They also have their own lines of contacts rather than just the manufactured stuff. They have some of the manufactured stuff as well, but they have their own stuff, and they have the best selection of Scleras, mini Scleras, and bigger contacts. They're definitely more of a cosplay contact company, so I'm a big fan of Pinky Paradise. Look how big these are. These are the ones I used for Blackfire, and I used them for Nephra from Monster High as well. They're nice and big. They make your eyes really cool. I really like the depth of them. They're really interesting, so definitely recommend. They're purple, and I will attach the name. I'll put the name on the screen, and the code and, you know, the link and everything if you are interested in that. I also have another pair of purple contacts that I don't really wear that's in here. They're not as interesting, but I'll add it to the counter, which I have hopefully in this corner. Editor, I really hope that, editor, like, who am I talking to? Update the counter. This is one, I only unboxed one of them because I didn't want them to expire. Obviously one of them will expire and the other won't, so that was kind of a backfire on my end. Or did I use these for Venus McFlytrap? Where's the other one? Somehow I misplace one contact often. Sometimes I find them and sometimes I just don't. So if I did misplace that one, I unfortunately probably will not find it. We'll see. This is the other contact I used for Catra. This is also the one that I use this for Rosalina and Princess Peach and Pauline, and I used this for Catra. Honorable mention, these Scleras from Ivos that I've only worn once, they ended up being too big for my eyes. These are 22 in diameter, I believe, and the other ones I have are 20. And 20 can fit in my eyes. It's not comfortable and it doesn't look right, but it is possible. But 22 straight up folds in my eyeballs, and it will fold out of my eyes just for me blinking. I have filmed a video in them before, an ASMR video, but I do not recommend it. If you're not sure if Scleras fit into your eyes, I would definitely start smaller, start with 18 or 20. I wouldn't go all the way up to a full Sclera, which I believe is 22, as I stated, because you don't know if they're even gonna fit if you have the anatomy for it. So that is my recommendation for Scleras. Another honorable mention are my whiteout contacts that I used for Storm from Pinky Paradise. I have a picture on the screen of those. I don't know where they are. I think they're on my counter somewhere. Things have been in shambles since Anime Expo. But those are actually pretty comfortable. You have about 50% vision in those contacts and any mesh contacts. But when you're in direct sunlight, that vision is almost zero. You can really only see outlines of people. So if you're inside walking around in the convention, you will be able to see enough to navigate by yourself. I would recommend you probably have a friend with you or a handler or just someone else that's not just you if you're going to decrease your vision that much, because you're going to be alone and you're vulnerable to danger. Do not drive with mesh contacts in. I don't know anyone who's done that, but please do not drive with mesh contacts in. That is the craziest thing you could do to yourself. Bring another pair of contacts. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you have mesh contacts, white mesh contacts, and you're wearing those for a con, bring another pair of contacts that character could have the eyes of, or take your contacts out when it is uncomfortable. Do not wear them all day. Do not drive with them. Anything else that I forgot, I will put up on the screen as well. I would love to know what this contact counter is. Editor me, add 2 more pairs that I found on my bathroom counter after this. And that will be the total of contacts that I have currently here in my possession. I know that I have some dailies. I will go over really quickly, daily, monthly, yearly, what that means, and just like the basics of contact care. But I definitely recommend doing your own research outside of this video. I am not a professional optometrist or anything like that. I'm just a person. So any of my advice is not binding legally, not medical, not anything. This is just rookie advice from a cosplayer of what contacts you could buy. Do research on if they're safe. Do research on everything. I'm just showing you what I do. I'm not telling you to do it. They're your eyes. Be safe with your eyes. You only have one pair of those, and so do I. So now that you have been properly warned to do research outside of this video and not just trust a stranger on the internet that doesn't have a degree in optometry, I really like the companies Pinky Paradise, Moodylenses, and Mocha Queen. Those are my top 3. I have had great experiences with other contact companies that are not those 3. Those are just my personal favorites because of their specific selections. They have contacts that they have developed themselves, and that they have put time and effort into and made their own designs. Whereas a lot of other contact companies, not naming any names, it's not even a problem, are just reselling like manufactured contacts. And I have manufactured contacts and original brand contacts alike. They're both amazing. But there are just some brands that have their own specific stuff. So I would definitely look into the differences if you're looking for very specific contacts. But if you're looking for just like the run-of-the-mill blue contact, Mach-E-Muck contact, whatever it is you're looking for, you can find those pretty much any brand, and they're pretty much the same product. No matter where you get them from, if you get them made for you by an optometrist, that is the only way to ensure that they are safe and, you know, amazing. So all of this information, if you're willing to commit to the potential risks of wearing contacts, if you're a cosplayer, which a lot of cosplayers do, you have been warned. They do degrade your vision. I have only noticed that my vision has degraded a tiny bit since wearing costume contacts, but also your vision degrades with age, so I can't say whether or not I have experienced my vision degrading specifically from wearing color contacts. But if you're not following the proper contact guidelines that are there for your safety, you cannot fully ensure that you are doing the least amount of damage possible to your eyes. So on that topic, I will go into dailies, monthlies, and yearlies. Daily contacts are going to be the safest for you. They have a higher oxygen content, or whatever material they make them out of is optimal. Sorry, I switched recording devices because my camera is acting up. But dailies, monthlies, yearlies, we're gonna get into that. Dailies are made out of like a specific material that is more suitable for your eyes to get the oxygen that they need. So if you can wear daily contact lenses or would prefer to wear daily contact lenses, that might be best for you. They usually come in a pack of 3 or 5. So if you do cosplay that character more than once, you don't just have that one pair. When I talk about dailies, they are daily. You have to throw them away at the end of the day. Do not try to extend them for more than one day. I have done it before. It does not feel good. And the contacts start to degrade after the 8 to 10 hours that you may be wearing them. They do. They literally start to degrade. They start to be misshapen. They start to not work correctly. And if you're someone who's trying to preserve dailies for more than one day, you might get away with it, but it's no longer good for your health. And it's no longer, there's no point in getting dailies if you're not gonna use them as dailies, because that's the point. So they also can give you eye infections, I think, if you wear them past the time that you're supposed to wear them. Just don't. I recommend not doing that. Then there's monthly contacts. Those are super rare. I don't see them very often. Typically it's daily and yearly, but there are like monthly or 3-month or 6-month contacts. And I think those also have like a higher oxygen permeability or whatever. So always go for the lowest time if possible. But if you're someone who cosplays a lot and cosplays relatively unpredictably, you will probably be like me and opt for yearlies. Yearly contacts are, in my opinion, the best option for me because of how often I cosplay and how many times I require the same pair of contacts over and over and over and over again. And I just can't really predict, you know, I'm only going to use 5 of these dailies, I'm going to use 3 of these dailies, blah, 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 blah. So yearlies are what most people choose and the most common type of contact, but they should not be worn for more than 8 hours a day. When you take out your contacts, change the water. When you change the water every few wears or so, you're going to want to wash out the contact case entirely. This is the best way to lessen your chances of getting pink eye or any sort of eye infections or any sort of eye damage, dust being under your contacts. If you wear them to the beach and you have sand in your eyes, you're going to scratch your retinas. It's just not good. It's just not good. Make sure your contacts are clean. I have a little supersonic contact cleaner thing I'll attach a photo of, which helps me clean my contacts, deep clean them when I get the chance. If your contacts feel dirty, take them out, spray them with a little contact solution, re-soak them. Don't play with your eyes. All right, I guess I'm done yelling at you. If you are still interested in embarking on your contact journey after all the warnings I've given you, I hope I didn't scare you. They are really awesome, and when you follow the rules, they are relatively low risk. People have lost their vision, people have had injuries, so be aware of that. If you are going places that are going to have tear gas or any sort of anything in the air that might damage you or your vision or your contacts, if you're going to a protest, if you're going anywhere where there will be heavy law enforcement presence and gas will be present, please do not wear contacts. Please do not wear contacts. The tear gas will melt the plastic contacts to your eyes, and you will have to get surgery, which is way more expensive than throwing them on the ground and buying a new $20 pair of contacts. If you don't want to run the risk of getting rid of your beautiful, amazing contacts, bring a contact case with you. I usually bring contact cases with me anywhere, especially if I know I will be interacting with chemical substances or the beach, the sand, anything like that. I usually just have one in case, but if I'm going to a convention, I'm going to the beach, I'm going to somewhere where there's going to be water, like Disneyland or something like that. I mean, I recommend just not wearing contacts to places like that. But if you are wearing contacts, bring a contact case in case your eyes get dry or whatever. Bring a little dropper with contact solution so that you can re-moisturize your eyes or your contacts. Bring eye drops. Things like that are just a great way to ensure that if something does go wrong, you are properly prepared. I really hope that if you are someone who wears color contacts or are interested in wearing color contacts, that this video was informational, that I taught you something new or just brushed you up on the basics. That is not all of the rules to wearing contacts and ensuring that your vision is safe, so please be sure to do your own outside research. I'm just brushing you up on the things that I know a lot of people don't abide by, that I sometimes struggle to abide by, so just giving you a quick reminder that those things are important to ensure the health of your eyes. Nobody's perfect, you're gonna make mistakes. Just try to cut back on the mistakes so you don't have an accident. As always, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below, and if you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see me film, please let me know. I'm not sure what my next video is going to be. I filmed a prop video, I filmed a wig video, and then this is my contact video. So yeah, let me know what other videos you're interested in seeing from me. I want to do a video showcasing a lot of the cosplays that I have, and then more process videos of like getting into different cosplays. I don't make long videos of getting into cosplays very often, so I definitely want to make some more, and I want to go back to doing some like daily vlogs and some like vlog compilations and things like that. So I'm hoping to get back into making long form videos like really frequently very soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night and that you enjoyed yourself watching this video. I will see you in my next video, whatever that may be, and please leave me a comment or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Goodbye!